Buongiorno, and benvenuti to Italian Lessons with Gina. This is the second in a series of brief lessons aimed at teaching Italian to English speakers. Our topic for this installment is Italian pronunciation rules and accentuation. In all lessons, whenever it is necessary to mention a letter of the alphabet, the English name for the letter will be used, and whenever an Italian word is stressed on a syllable other than the next to the last, the stressed syllable will be underlined. As stated in Lesson 1, Italian is easy to pronounce. With only one or two exceptions, every letter in an Italian word is pronounced, and pronounced the same way almost all the time. Once you learn a few basic rules, you will be able to pronounce any Italian word correctly. Let's begin with the letter combinations that produce soft sounds in Italian. Every time you see these letter combinations in a word, they will be pronounced as indicated. Let's pronounce them together. C as in Sicilia, Ce as in Czech or Ceci, Cha as in cacciatore, Cho as in chosen or faccio, Ciu as in ciuffo, G as in jeep or asparagi, Je as in jealous or gelato, Già as in job or mangiare, Gio as in viaggio, Giù as in Giuseppe, Sci as in scimmia, Sce as in scelta, Scia as in maresciallo, Scio as in rovescio, Sciù as in sciupone. Usually, if CIA appears at the end of a word, the I is sounded, as in farmacia or Lucia. But if it appears in the middle of a word, the I is not sounded, as in Luciano. GIA is the same. At the end of a word, the I is usually sounded, biologia, astrologia. In the middle of a word, the I is not sounded, as in passeggiata. Then there are the letter combinations that produce hard sounds. Every time you see these letter combinations in a word, they will be pronounced as indicated. Let's pronounce them together. Chi as in gnocchi, Che as in ketchup or perché, Chia as in vecchia, Ca as in vacca, Co as in coprire, Chio as in occhio, Cu as in cucina, Ghi as in laghi, Ge as in get or spaghetti, Ga as in got or strega, Go as in gola, Gu as in gustare. Compare the list of the soft sounds with the list of the hard sounds. Notice that often the insertion of the letter H into the letters of a soft sound will render a hard sound. So, CI is pronounced chi, but CHI is pronounced ki. When the letters GLI appear within a word, the G is almost always silent. Example, figlio, conchiglia. Also, the letters GN give a ñ sound, like the Spanish N with a tilde, or in the word canyon. Examples would be montaña or ragno. The combination QU is always pronounced as KW, just as in the English queen or quest. Example Italian words would be quello and cinquanta. When the same consonant is doubled, the sound must be emphasized. For example, you have capello, which means one strand of hair, versus cappello, which means a hat. The single P in the first example is sounded lightly. The double P in the second example is stressed. Listen closely. Capello, cappello. Can you hear the difference? When a single S is preceded and followed by a vowel, or when it begins a word followed by consonants B, D, G, M, N, R, and V, the S sounds like an English Z. Some examples: Pisa, riso, sbaglio, sdegno, smettere, snello. At all other times, and when the S is doubled, it is given the standard S pronunciation: rosso, stella, sale, gesso. A double Z is always pronounced like a TS, as in the well-known word pizza. A single Z that begins a word may be given a TS or a DZ sound, as in zio or zio. Most of the time, the sound of the fifth letter of the alphabet, the vowel that English speakers call E, will be rendered in Italian as a shortened sound, which is also the name of the letter, especially when followed by a double identical consonant: strenna, bello, pelle, sette, vorremmo. However, it will be said as an elongated A sound in many words when followed by a single consonant: pelo, reso, vorremmo, sete. Italians position the tongue differently than English speakers in order to pronounce the letter R. Italians touch the roof of the mouth right behind the front teeth very lightly with the tip of the tongue to achieve a rolling or trilling R sound, a subtle sound for words containing one R, and a more emphatic sound for words containing a double R. English speakers, on the other hand, engage the tongue hardly at all and instead purse the lips so that the sound comes from the front of the mouth. Listen to the Italian R versus the English R in these Italian words. This is the Italian R, brindisi. This is the English R, brindisi. Italian R, burro. English R, burro. Italian R, maranello. English R, maranello. One final aspect of good pronunciation is to place the accent or stress on the proper syllable. The majority of Italian words are stressed on the next to the last syllable. Therefore, a two-syllable word will be accented on the first syllable, cane. A three-syllable word on the second syllable, amico. A four-syllable word on the third syllable, meraviglia. A five-syllable word on the fourth syllable, riferimento, and so on. However, there are some groups of words that do not obey this rule. One of those groups is the verbs whose infinitive form ends in ere. Many, but not all, of these verbs are accented on the syllable that precedes the next to the last. Here are some examples: credere, vendere, rispondere, ricevere. Another group is the third-person plural form of verbs conjugated in the present indicative tense. All of the first five persons follow the general accentuation rule, but the third-person plural form does not. Here are two examples: ascoltare. Ascolto, ascolti, ascolta. Ascoltiamo, ascoltate, ascoltano. Scrivere. Scrivo, scrivi, scrive. Scriviamo, scrivete, scrivono. There are also many Italian words that are actually written with an accent mark. Usually will be a grave accent mark, the one that goes from top left to bottom right. In those cases, there is no guesswork needed. The stress goes on the syllable containing the accent mark. Some examples are città, virtù, martedì. During these lessons, when a word deviates from the general accentuation rule, I will place an underline beneath the syllable that gets stressed, like this, consapevole. Remember, one of the keys to proper Italian pronunciation is to pronounce the vowels correctly. They are always large, open sounds. Ah, or a, e, o, u. The vowels are always pronounced like this. Resist an urge to give the vowel an American English pronunciation. Now, with these rules in mind, let's do some pronunciation practice with real Italian words. Here are some Italian words, many of which have also become English words. Note the underlines under some syllables that indicate where the stress must be placed. Now, using the information learned in lessons 1 and 2, let's see if you can pronounce these words as an Italian would. Number 1, pistacchio. Number 2, trombone. Number 3, cinema. Number 4, alibi. Number 5, saliva. Number 6, opera. Number 7, formula. Number 8, bruschetta. Yes, that's right, bruschetta. If I hear you saying bruschetta, I will give you a playful slap behind the head. That's all for now. Alla prossima. Ciao e studiate bene.